The governor of Restates State, Ayodele Fayose, is raising fresh concerns about the forthcoming governorship polls in the state. He's alleging that some compromised security agents loyal to the candidate of the APC, designated members of the party and top INEC officials are part of a plot to rig the polls at all costs. Mr. Fayose also claims that plans are being made to replace National Youth Corps members and some university undergraduates who will be the presiding officers for the polls with politicians.
EC8A, EC8B, and EC8C series and other sensitive materials are to be duplicated with same serial numbers. Also, youth corpers, students of the Federal University Oye Ekiti and the Polytechnic Ado Ekiti that are to serve as presiding officers and assistant presiding officers are to be replaced by APC members quietly. I want to appreciate the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for his courage. I want to ask him to please prevail on his officials to live above board and cause an investigation into these issues and names that we have mentioned. We don't want to believe that this will be seen as usual rhetorics, but believe that there are credible information in what we have said in terms of INEC and security agencies. We appeal to the Inspector General of Police to please allow this election to be credible by not allowing his men to do what is unbecoming of an umpire and a security officer.
The federal government is reaffirming its commitment to reduce poverty and youth unemployment through effective collaboration with international donor agencies. This assurance was offered by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Monitoring and Evaluation, who spoke at a forum on art for development organized by the Action Aid Nigeria in Abuja. The country director of Action Aid Nigeria, however, asked the nation's judiciary to arrest the situation by jailing corrupt politicians for fueling the increasing level of poverty.
Action Aid are doing a wonderful job, and I like the way they are mixing art with alleviation of poverty. A lot of people who are vulnerable and less privileged have great artistic ability, in particular the disabled people. I make a particular note of that because a lot of disabled people, you look at them, they are disabled, but that does not mean they are not able. A lot of them have a lot of artistic qualities. As we've seen today, there have been quite a few amazing things. And I'd just like to add that the government is fully in support of alleviating poverty. We have a lot of programs. We have the school feeding program, the G program, the CTT program, and with partners like Action Aid, we can work together and reduce poverty in this country.
They can't find a way to have quick, to be able to hasten trials. Where you are not trying people and you see that people are looting the economy of this country and you are letting them go and people are dying in the hospitals because the amenities, the public service provision is limited because the money is not going there. If you accuse a governor, for example, that is taking billions of naira from the coffers of the government, it means something is not being provided for. That money is meant for something. Budgets of the country is meant to address issues.
To some company news now, Cardinal Stone Partners, a leading investment banking firm, says that over the next few weeks, it will be closing its first fund of $100 million for its private equity business. The company, which is celebrating 10 years of success in its business ventures in Nigeria this year, also says that it will continue to invest in enterprises that have high potentials for growth.
In 2008, four friends in their own right came together to push a common goal. And that goal was simple: disrupt the investment banking space for good. The christened the adventure Cardinal Stone Partners. Today, 10 years down the line, that act, that vision had grown to become an oak tree in the financial services space.
Essentially, what we said was, with the clients and entrepreneurs like us, who are just starting out or in the infant stage of their business, we see and recognize their hustle. We want to grow up with them, we want to support them, such that they flourish and re-emerge as major players in their industries.
The celebrations, an elaborate one, attracted personalities from that sector. And like the saying goes, these four friends have washed their hands very well and very clean and sure dine with the elders. One of whom is their chairman.
For about 5 years now, we've paid dividend. Year in, year out. We will pay dividend this year.
This entity has employed Nigerians, probably over 70, has created jobs, is paying taxes, contributing to the development of the economy. It should be celebrated.
A joke, 10 years of impact.
It's all testimonies of a quiet revolution, from 4 staff member strength to 380, 60 billion plus as value of funds under their management, 20% average return on investment, over 100 institutional clients, $100 million fund in private equity, and more.
And congratulations.
Thank you for making this journey what it is, and we look forward to building a lasting company with all of you. Thank you so much.
Well, I think the future for us really is to make sure this entity is perpetuated generation to generation.
Cardinal Stone says it is here for the long haul.
Congratulations. It's been a fantastic evening.
We'll have Kayode Okikiolu for more business news now.
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Gimba, and welcome to Business News. Well, Investment Bank FBN Quest reports that Nigeria's Purchasing Managers Index picked up gently in June from 49.2 to 49.8. The reading, which is based on manufacturers' responses to set questions, shows decline in 2 of the 5 sub-indices, with 3 now in negative territory, including output, employment, and stocks of purchases. Just last week, the central bank released its Purchasing Managers Index, showing an expansion of 57 reading in the month of June, indicating that industrial production level, supplier delivery time, and employment rate grew at a faster rate, while manufacturers' new orders and inventories moved at a slower rate in June. And UK's manufacturing sector growth data for June came in earlier today above estimates, with the pace of gains consolidating at the weakest level in over a year. The market manufacturing PMI reading was at 54.4, a subdued footing from 54.3 on the previous month. Reports by analysts at London-based SP Angel says UK's new orders growth climbed to a 3-month high, while employment was up at the quickest pace in 3 months. Meanwhile, South Africa's seasonally adjusted Purchasing Managers Index fell to 47.9 points last month, according to a report released today by investment bank ABSA. The survey shows Africa's most advanced economies saw declines in new orders, business activity, and employment last month as the country faces controlled power outages, fears of global trade war, and weaker local currency, the rand. And elsewhere, Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company says it plans to seek approval from members by the end of July to triple the size of its debt program to about 440 billion naira. The government-backed mortgage agency hints that the notes could be issued through non-convertible loans and bonds, either through public offering, private placement, or a book building process. Just last month, the company announced the completion of its 11 billion naira 13.80% Series 2 bond issuance under the medium-term note program, which was oversubscribed by 200%. The NMRC is a mortgage-backed guarantee company set up in 2013, partly with World Bank aid, to alleviate housing deficit in Africa's most populous nation. And trading sentiments at the Nigerian Stock Exchange kicks off the new month on a negative start, following a fresh round of profit-taking by investors in key blue-chip stocks. Teniola Shoboale has the details of today's trading session.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Nigeria's stock market commenced the first trading day of July with renewed sell-off, shedding over 120 billion naira and dropping 87 basis points in the index value. The weak start for the month follows profit-taking in key components from the industrial goods, banking and the consumer goods sector after Friday's 1.44% rally. 20 decliners for the day were led by a 9.74% price drop in the shares of Forte Oil, while Ayeko Group tops a list of 16 gainers, up by 9.84%. The pulse of trading was largely subdued as investors staked a total of 1.85 billion naira on over 256.22 million units of shares, with Sterling Bank, FBN Holdings and Wema Bank as the top 3 most traded stocks for Monday. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Teniola Shoboale.
Thank you, Teniola. Wall Street ends the first trading day of the third quarter positive, led by strong gains in tech stocks. However, it's mostly negative outing for other major world markets following political, trade and economic concerns by investors across the region. Here are some of the closing figures for Monday. Well, that's business news. I am Kayode Okikiolu. It's now back to Kimba.
You First. First Bank.
Villages that make up a former community in Orumba North local government area of Anambra State are appealing for something to be done about the erosion that's threatening their existence. In a peaceful protest, the villagers marched to the headquarters of Orumba North with placards displaying messages that their roads have been taken away and their homes are being threatened. Students of Federal Polytechnic, Oko, studying at the Ufuma campus, also joined the outcry, saying that commuting to and from school has become a challenge.
Gully erosion is a menace that has continued to trouble the people of Anambra State in southeast Nigeria, ravaging homes and threatening to wipe out communities. Residents of Ufuma in Orumba North local government area of the state are the latest to face this ecological threat as roads continue to shrink, leaving gullies on many streets. Makeshift bridges are used by some to gain entry to their homes, and for others, this artificial underground tunnel will do. Yet there are residents who do not have access to such luxuries and remain trapped indoors.
I don't know what to do to cross this erosion here, because if we are crossing that small bridge that we put there, the road, the stick we put there is shaking.
Unfortunately, Ufuma also hosts a campus extension of the Federal Polytechnic Oko, and the students also suffer.
The government should just intervene, if not for anything, for the sake of these students.
The residents have had enough and stormed Orumba local government headquarters to slug it out with the chairman, who was not around to see their pain, but a representative did.
Old women and men, children, pregnant women are trapped in their various homes because the rain that fell 2 days ago washed off the make-off bridge they used to enter their houses. They are dead. So this is the emergency situation that is death or life.
the best thing we have to do now is to, if you have any written document to this effect, you just submit it. Then when he comes back, we will hand it over to him, tell him everything you have just said here. Then, and I believe whatever thing you give to him must get to the government.
As requested, the residents submit their protest materials, which include a letter, 12 pieces of placards, and a banner to pass their message. They leave with the hope that their cry will get to the chairman and eventually the governor, Willie Obiano, praying that an intervention will come soon.
Still ahead on the news at 10, five-time world champions Brazil keep title hopes alive at Russia 2018 with a 2-0 victory over Mexico. That's in sports news. Stay with us.